Mississaugas of the New Credits First Nations, MNCFN, which is also known as Ojibwe. It's part of the Anishinaabe Nation. It changed its name to MCFN, Mississaugas of the Credits First Nation, in 2019. They settled in Canada West after the years 1634 and 1635. A few years later, they moved to Ontario. Now they live in an area near Bradford, which is located in south-central Ontario. The logo of MCFN was established in 1995 with 5 important aspects of the nation's history, namely Eagle, 3 fires, the circle of life, and the peace pipe. The eagle is a messenger. The 3 fires represent the Mississaugas' traditional and political alliance with the Ojibwe, Ottawa, and Potawatomi nations. The circle of life reflects that every living thing is interrelated and has its own unique place in this circle. And the peace pipe is equivalent of a parliamentary mace. It was given by Queen Victoria's cousin Auguste de d'Este, and it's usually used in special opening ceremonies. Like other First Nations, MCFN believes in animism. The animism perspective defined that soul or spirit exists in humans, other animals, mountains, rivers, almost everything in the natural world. Powwow is MCFN's cultural event. It means meeting in English. It's a family-oriented event and an occasion to bring everyone in to celebrate life. Historical change. The French occupation. The French explored the northern part of the continent. Trades were developed by French there, and they made allies with Aboriginal people who traded with them. Later on, the harmony and the allies were disrupted by the British Army and other Aboriginal people who were allies of the British. During this period, nations developed by Aboriginal people were destroyed and survivors fled. Since then, the Ojibwa and their allies would still stay there were called Mississaugas. Historical changes. The Toronto Purchase. The Aboriginal people of Northern America did not have conception of land ownership during that time. When the white man came to them, they thought the white man ought to live with them instead of taking the land away from them. In 1787, the first version of the Toronto Purchase came out without a signature. It was a blank deed, and later on in 1805, the new version of Toronto Purchase was published and signed by principal chiefs. From this course, I understand what decolonization, reconciliation, and land really mean to most Indigenous people in Canada. Also, I understand how most governmental discourses, legislations, and the academia adopting those 3 working independently to maintain the supremacy of a colonial state. And most importantly, perhaps I'm aware of the genocidal side of the Indian Act, which continues legislating over Indigenous peoples of Canada. This act has the power to define who is and who is not legally an Indian and its laws are designed to extinguish indigenous identity in a legitimate way.